Hey guys, what's up? I'm back. Another week of trading. Let's jump right into it. I am in a trade on gold right now, so let's go through the fundamental analysis. I'm going to go through my charting and yeah, we're going to see how we go. I don't think I've actually filmed a recap, have I? I'm not too sure, but anyways, if I haven't, we'll do one in the future video, but let's just get straight into the fundamental analysis for the week. So this is the 13th of April to the 19th of April. Again, guys, this is just my take on the markets. Do what you wish with it. It is not financial advice. Use it for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. Let's go. So COT reporting, we have quite a bit of a jumble in terms of bias and sentiment, that is. You can see USD slightly increased to the long side. We have Aussie pretty much remaining the same, yen pretty much remaining the same. So I wouldn't take too much data on the COT. Let's have a look at net positions. We do have an increase in yen positions to the long side as well. So something to take note of. In terms of indices I would say is, well, you can see S&P is definitely down. The other two, NAS and US 30, a bit more bullish. So just something to consider. And then gold more bullish as well. So this is actually not a good indication for my current trade. Again, I had data prior to this, so this wasn't something I had. So, you know, it is what it is. But fundamentally, I'm still happy to take that gold trade last week. So this week, and let's just have a look at this data and just sort of give you guys an understanding of why I took that gold trade. Well, basically we had neutral inflation, neutral economic data. I would have liked this to be bullish to take a short on gold, but we had very strong labor market data, which I believe is a more important indication, where basically jobs data, if it's more bearish, poorer job results, more unemployment, less employment, basically a divide in the market, then you know, you'd want to long gold because there's uncertainty. But because the labor market's been good, we've got better job reports, people are more optimistic, I guess you could say, at least from the labor market data, then I would say, look, gold is it's better to short gold in the hopes that, you know, USD is stronger per se. So you guys can see from this data though, we did get core PPI, which ticked my verdict on inflation being bearish, which that's why this week, you know, after I took the trade, I wouldn't have shorted gold based off this data, but you know, it was a new print. It is what it is. We're still in the gold trade. It is, from a technical point of view, it is still bearish. So we've put our predetermined risk. We've put a 200 USD as my risk appetite. We're just going to leave it as is. This is part of my plan. Aussie, we had labour market NAS data, and I changed a little bit about the economic readings as well. So Westpac consumer confidence, there wasn't a forecast in current. It was based off previous data that I was comparing to, and it would go up and down. So it was just not a good indication of economic data. What I've put on instead is household spending and goods trade balance. Household spending as it is more people more spending. It suggests more spending, more sort of stimulation of the economy, which is good. And then goods trade balance, if this was something that I found as well, it's quite new, is the trade between Australia and international other countries. So obviously with Australia being an island, separated from everything, quite a small nation as well, we are very dependent on trade, especially with China and the US in terms of, you know, the Western and Eastern markets, and more trade is better for Aussie. We've got a lot of resources and, you know, again, we sell stuff, we gain money, economy is stimulated, people want to buy more Aussie as well to trade with. So yeah, so right now I'm actually quite bullish on Aussie. Reason being is that inflation rating, although bearish, is still very, very high. All right, it's higher than US, it's higher than yen. So I'm actually quite bullish on Aussie. And then labor market analysis data was neutral, flat. Again, it's with inflation so high and the market reading not being crazy, we're not being exaggerated, I'm actually quite bullish on Aussie. I think this strong economic data on 3 of the indicators is a good sign. So I'm happy to long to the Aussie side. I'm happy to trade into Aussie, dependent on, again, technical analysis and also fundamental analysis of the other currency it's against. Yen, you can see we've got no new prints. It's just bearish. We've got one, obviously, a bullish labor market data, but you can see just everything's melting from what I can see, at least, or what I believe. So yeah, I'm happy to short yen. In terms of with this graph, we've only got change in Aussie employment. So like you can see, employment data is, it's bouncing here and there. Still, I would say it's a general trend up. When we come down, we go back up, come back down, go back up, come back down. Hopefully, or not hopefully, but we'll see on the next print. If it does go back up, we know we're generally headed in a bullish direction. And unemployment rate, we can see it was coming down, ticked back up, and now we're steady and we're holding at these rates, these higher interest rates. So it'll be very, very crucial to see how unemployment responds as a result. Bias, which is the most important part. So let's go with gold, because I'm actually in gold trade right now. Like I said, COT reporting was, sorry, I didn't update COT yet. So bullish +2, US 30, I would say is bullish +1. Aussie is, let's have a look. Yeah, neutral for Aussie. Neutral. This is bearish, definitely bearish, and definitely bearish here. Okay, so let's go back. So gold, we have bullish COT report, economic data. I'm still saying it's bearish. Reason being is we've got bearish inflation, which is good for gold. Neutral economic news, which is in the middle, and bullish labor market, which is not. So actually, this is neutral. No trades. US 30, same prints. We've got bearish inflation is good for the US 30. We have neutral economic data, which, look, to be honest, that's more important as an indicator. If we had it tick bullish, I would consider US 30. So I'm gonna take that off my list. We'll get rid of that. So no trades on US 30. If that does tick to bullish on the next couple prints, we're in that bitch hard. AU, like I said, I'm quite bullish on Aussie right now compared to the neutral USD. So economic news is bullish. Sorry, I didn't really update this. This is bullish +1. So we can long, especially from a technical sense. AU is actually bullish right now, so we can long that. UJ, where COT is favoring yen. Economic news is, I wouldn't even say, yes, slightly bullish, just because of the bearish nature of yen right now. Technical trend is bullish. Look, to be honest, I could long this. I just believe AJ is a better trade, so we'll take UJ out. AJ is the exact same thing, but we're more strong with Aussie, and I think it has a better technical trend, which we'll chuck on the chart. So currently, we're just really strengthened the Aussie. We're going to trade those two. If we go jump straight to the charts, let's have a look at gold first. So gold under the SMA. So we are definitely in a bear trend right now, at least. We did get into the trade here on Thursday, so the 9th of April, prior to that print. We had this zone here marked up, and if we bar replay here, right, fuck, put it here. Okay, so we bar replay it. We had this zone marked up. Let's have a look at daily. It's still under the SMA. So we waited to see what sort of, again, a rejection wick, a doji to stop action. We had more bearish pressure. We had more bearish pressure with that wick there, and then a bearish print. And I was like, look, I'm gonna get in that right there. So that's the mindset of it. We have consolidated. It has rejected here, it's come down here, has rejected a little bit. We'll let it play out. Like I said, right now, at least fundamentally, it is kind of favoring gold. So I'm not surprised if we just get taken out for a negative 1R. Okay, that's that. Let's go on AJ. AJ, we said we have strength in the Aussie currently. We have bearishness of yen, so I'm happy to take that trade. We are at all-time high though. Yeah, we are at all-time highs from 10 years past. I don't really take that into consideration. I really care about sentiment. If it's above the SMA and with some strength, some impulsive strength, all-time highs is just it's something to consider. It's nothing, if I was trailing stops, it's nothing to consider for me, at least with trading and trailing and whatnot. So, or entries, sorry. So I'm actually going to place my my trigger here. I've tweaked my strategy as well. Look, at the end of the day, I'm a momentum-based trend trader. This pullback and mean reversion type of trading isn't necessary. All I want to see is very high value, high target spots. So we've got this target spot here in terms of support. You can see many candles did range here, and quite a number of dojis as well. So we've got not inconsistency, but uncertainty there, where buyers and sellers are sort of matched where they spring off. So I'll mark this one here. If I've got any indication of some bullish pressure at this zone, I will get in wherever the price is, probably pop my stop under there and go for that trade. Okay, so that's Aussie. AU, you can see big rejection wicks, and we're at all-time highs from the last, how many years back? Around, 3.5, 4 years back. So probably going to see some rejection down this zone here. In terms of my marked zone, look, to be honest, this is probably a nice zone here. You can see there's a lot of taps here, a lot of data there. Would I consider this zone as well? There is a lot of data here. If we go on daily, let's have a look, see how congested it is over here. Any rejections? Couple rejections. So look, at the end of the day, these 2 points of interest are, they're both valid, right? They've got, rejection wick here on the 4 hourly. We've got multiple touches. This was an area of, where it impulsed. This was an area where it impulsed as well. So happy with that area as a point of interest. If price action does get down here, we will place this here. Probably put our stops here under this one and see how it goes. If we get stopped out there and price shows some bullish impulse at this point of interest, then we would probably do something like that. So again, entry not too important, more so momentum, fundamentals backing it. UJ, we said we're bullish. I'm gonna change this to my new one here. So UJ bullish. We've got a rejection wick there, right? And basically, again, like I said, if there was more better economic data on the dollar, and if inflation rating was a little bit better, I would consider longing that. But right now, it's just not good enough of a print for me to, and data for me to get in that. So we'll leave that on the side. US 30, like I said, we're above the SMA now. We're in bullish territory, definitely. We have marked these 2 zones up here. Potential trade if we have better inflation rating. So we'll take that off now. Sweet, so that's it for this week, guys. I will catch you on the next one. Peace.